This story begins with our protagonist waking up in a hospital, somewhat confused, wondering what had happened. The only thing he could remember was that a deity mentioned to him that he would be exchanged with his self from another universe, in a world 139, something he honestly did not understand very well. In the hospital, his mother was attending him, clearly distressed, which made the protagonist wonder if she had always been this attentive, since in his previous world he never got to know his parents, who simply disappeared one day and never came back. When talking to his mother about this new universe, she spoke to him with much affection and respect, mentioning that she was very worried about him, but that his memory loss would be temporary and that she was ready to create new memories by his side. At that moment, the protagonist was happy to be with his mother, even though she came from another universe. However, he hoped that, in any other universe, she would always be the same and they could be together. What he does not know is that in different universes there will always be major differences. While she was with her mother, she inwardly felt a deep love for her son, telling herself that she loved him and that he belonged only to her. This love was not that of an ordinary mother, and she confessed that she loved the new version of her son more. Despite being close to him, he had not rejected her. She loved the old him, although he was a bit rebellious, but she adored even more this new tender and sweet version, saying to herself that when they got home they would create beautiful moments together. But Al arrives. The first thing they would do would be to take a bath together.
Stop it. Get some help.
Some time passed and our protagonist went out to the bathroom. When he returned to his room, a nurse reprimanded him for leaving without authorization, telling him that he was still in the process of recovery and that he shouldn't exert himself so much. The protagonist apologized, explaining that he had only gone to the bathroom, and returned to bed. The nurse, like his mother, deep down wanted to stay with him, regretting not having accompanied him to the bathroom to assist him more. She was worried that, outside the room, there were other women who also wanted to conquer him and who would try to snatch him away from her. She was not going to allow that, so she was willing to fight to keep him and marry him. Something was not right in this world. Were women excessively lustful, or were there simply no men? Finally, it was time to leave the hospital, and when he was discharged, the protagonist thanked one of the nurses for all the care. She, with a smile, asked him to take care of himself and wished him well, although inside she was devastated, as her beloved was leaving without her having accomplished anything, not even getting his contact number. This was all too strange. The only question that arose was, what was wrong with women? When she got home, her mother told her that this was her new home, asking if she remembered it. However, she assured him that it didn't matter if he didn't, as they could create new memories together. The protagonist did remember everything. The place was exactly the same as his previous world, but he pretended to have amnesia to enjoy his new family, create new memories and avoid what had happened to his old family, whom he did not get to know well and did not enjoy. He wanted to experience what it was like to have a real family, so he decided to lie to start from scratch. What he didn't know was that, deep down, his new mother wanted him for other reasons. She claimed that this home was their new love nest for both of them. Upon entering the house, his mother introduced him to his sisters, Sumire, a very attractive college girl, and her younger sister, who was in high school, named Sakura. The mother's name was Kane, but he could call her Mom. The protagonist thought his family was pretty normal, although, with his mother being so young, he felt he had 3 sisters. At that moment, Sakura realized that her brother was not the same. She felt something strange. He was not the usual aggressive boy, he was someone different. Sumire also wondered what was wrong with her brother, questioning if he had really lost his memory. In a way, she was glad he had changed, as maybe now she wouldn't have to hide in her room to avoid him. Most worried was his mother, who was extremely excited that her son had become sweeter and more affectionate, hoping he would get along with his sisters and wishing he would call her Mom, and then turn her into Mom.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Our prota was curious about what was going on in that world. It seemed like it wasn't so different from his own, but something didn't fit. Upon asking his mother about the whereabouts of his father, she confessed to him that she had never had one. Moreover, each of her children came from different donors. The protagonist was even more confused, not quite understanding what was going on. His mother's dark side came to light, revealing that, Although his birth was artificial, they would soon do it naturally, and he would become the new father and her new husband. This was becoming more disturbing, not only with his mother, but also with his sisters. Noticing that he was acting differently with them, Sumire began to feel something strange. Previously, the protagonist looked at her as if she was a stranger, but now he cared about her, which made her feel excited. As for Sakura, she was much more appreciative of this new version of her brother, who treated her kindly. Her sister crossed the line when the protagonist tried to go out alone to the supermarket, but she wouldn't let him, afraid that other girls would try to approach him. Sumire wanted to be the only one to have him. While changing clothes, she asked her brother how he liked girls, whether he preferred them to be attractive or flirtatious, to which he simply replied that he liked them cute. However, Sumire continued to ask him awkward questions, as he asked her to hurry up and get dressed so they could go out to the supermarket. It was already getting a little late. Deep down, she thought that if a boy and a girl went out together, that was like a date, and she was eager to go out with her brother, wishing she was the only one to keep him. When she finished dressing, her sister asked her how she looks. Aoi told her that she looks good and she looks pretty. They both left to the supermarket and came back 10 minutes later. She was excited because it was the first time that someone of the handsome sex called her pretty. She was sure that they were in love. Maybe Aoi liked everything about her. Maybe she could get married. It was awkward, but she hopes that they will be together for the rest of their lives, and hopefully he will take care of her. His mother tells him that she heard him call a girl cute so easily, and that could be misinterpreted, and he has never said that to her. Aoi didn't realize that and says that she also thinks Mom is cute. Mom was also called cute by Aoi, but she tells him that he shouldn't say sweet words to women so easily, that could be misinterpreted. After all, Aoi loves Mom, right? Here the creator gives us a panel where his family is proposing indecent things to him. His other sister tells him that she heard that he called Mom and Wani-chan cute. He wonders how Sakura also found out that women in this world are not praised much by men. Maybe they feel lonely, so as an older brother, shouldn't he praise her too? She didn't want to make Oni-chan feel uncomfortable. She just wanted him to treat her like the others. She was sorry for being a capricious sister. Aoi wanted to meet her sister's expectations, so she praised her with all her might, calling her all kinds of nice names. This morning Sakura asked her things on the destiny, lovers and as babies are made. They wondered that it had happened to her, perhaps something had happened to her. Sakura understood the meaning of being born. Aoi was overwhelmed by his desires. He knew that they were related by blood, but for him they seemed beautiful and pretty women that are strange. But now they are my family, so not to see his family in that way, he was beginning to look for several ways to unburden himself. He did not find anything extreme or very strong, only he found things little intimate. Sakura finds the history of her brother. She realizes that her dear brother is in that age and apparently he likes the bikinis, so she will have to prepare herself. She continues looking and she gets angry when seeing her history and finds searches on older sisters with big attributes and black hair. When continuing looking, she realizes with trembling hands that her dear brother, this describing the appearance of her sister and of her mother.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Sakura asks her sister how old is her mother. Her sister answers her that she had her when she was 17 years old, so she supposes that now she is 35. Sakura is surprised when knowing that her mother was so young. She explains to her that the women can receive donations of white liquid from the 16. Mom wanted to have children, so she enrolled in a special school for parents who want to have children. In this world, if you have a child, the government gives you great benefits because it is rare for male children to be born. Sakura asks her if she has already started using the white liquid donations. She thinks to herself that she doesn't need white liquid donations because she already has Aoi and she doesn't want to have children so fast. But if Aoi wanted children, she would think about it, but for the moment she just wants to spend some time with him. She knows that her brother looks at her as a woman, so she wondered why he doesn't make a pass at her. Days later, his mother reminds him that 16-year-old men with white fluid are required once a month to donate fluid to the state, but he was to go to the white fluid center this week. His mom looked very nervous saying that. She reminds him that he once went, before he lost his memory and came out crying, saying he never wanted to go back to that place. He is shocked to learn that the Aoi of that world cried in a place like that. He died of shame. His mother was worried as everything was going well, but if he got hurt again in that center, she feared that in the worst case scenario he would go back to isolating himself in his room. The whole family was gathered together to encourage their brother as they were about to go to the donation center. His mother was happy to see that her son was calm, before he started crying for no reason, but now she feels that Aoi-chan is fine. Her sister was determined to protect her brother since her beloved brother had traumas before he lost his memory. If something goes wrong, she will take care of it since she knows martial arts. Sakura's thoughts were less pure. She researched that in fertility centers the family can help during the collection of white liquid. If her Oni-chan has difficulties to finish, Sakura will help you. When he and his family arrived at the fertility center, they received several directions. The receptionist tells them to go to the white liquid collection room and fill the container. If it is too difficult for you to do it yourself, one of our staff will help you. Okay. She asks him not to worry as the workers have 45 years of experience. They can make any man finish. The receptionist thinks to herself, he seems like a nice guy. Usually the men who come here usually do so reluctantly. They never listen to introductions and look at us ugly, but this family seems to get along well with their male figure. To have such a nice guy is to be very lucky. They must be having a good time together, wishing they had a nice brother like him. His whole family was offering to help him, a very unusual and disturbing help, but he tells them that he will do it alone. We can see how his mother knows that Aoi-chan has been looking at her in unusual places. This is getting weirder, and we see how his other sister also thinks to herself in very obscene and uncommon things in siblings, and as expected his other sister does not stay behind and offers to help him with her hand or with her mouth, among other things. Leaving his worried family behind, he enters the room. It was a private room with low lighting. He was looking for erotic content to do the job. Meanwhile, in the waiting room, his family was worried because Aoi was alone and each one was counting the ways in which they would help his brother. Our protagonist had finished the work. The doctor was surprised to see the amount and then thanked him with a smile on her face, telling him that all his hard work will be of help to humanity. Aoi felt very productive and happy since he had done a good job. We can see how the doctor thinks it is too much. Most men just give small samples and leave, but this guy had forced himself to donate so much for the good of mankind. Then things got weirder and the doctor was getting excited just thinking that there are men like that. He was relieved to get out of there, so much so that he offered to give his mother a massage because she always said his shoulders were tense. Before he couldn't do it because his hormones would go crazy just by touching a woman, but now he felt relaxed. As expected, his mother was happy to know that her Aoi-chan would massage him with her big hands, and she even thinks to herself that she wished he would touch other things besides her shoulders. Even though her sister Sumire is still dressing sloppily as usual, she doesn't care anymore. He asks her if the program she is watching is interesting. She says more or less, so then he sits next to her. When her brother sat next to her, her mind began to waver. She could not concentrate on the television. For her, this situation was like a perverted dream she had. She should take advantage of the moment. Although thinking about it, she decided to calm down. Her first time with Aoi-chan should be a better environment and should be the best memory, although she really wanted to do it now. This one had learned that his sister Sakura liked compliments, so today he was going to tell her some. This one tells her that she looks adorable, that he was lucky to have a sister like her, and asks her if there is anything she wants him to do for her today. She thanks him for all the compliments and tells her brother to please pet her head. His sister today was docile and kind. She loves it when Oni-chan looks at her. She wants to be loved even more by Oni-chan, and to achieve that she is willing to do anything. Aoi lately was doing muscular exercise. He was very worried because since he was exchanged to this world, his sexual desire has increased in him, so he has been training even more than usual. The exercise was the best way to release his desire, and if he didn't get rid of this sexual desire, he would start to look at his family strangely again, which was against his ethics. He would like to go back to the fertility center, but they only let him in once a week at the most. What he didn't know was that his whole family was spying on him. They were all admiring and proud of him, but they wanted him to do full body exercise with them. They hoped they could prove the results themselves. Tell me below in the comments if you want the third part. If you liked the video, give me a like, that helps me to know how much you liked the video.